your life, your projection. So if I told you that everything on the outside in your reality is all coming from inside of you, you might not believe me. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. So I've said, and many other people have said, life works like a mirror. What you see in your reality is a reflection of how you're feeling inside, how you're thinking, of your subconscious programming. So you could say that we're like computers, right? So does that mean that we can just transfer all the information in a human mind to artificial intelligence? Will it be the same thing? Now, this is something that has been going around, with technology. Technology is going to keep evolving very, very fast in the next number of years. And I think we're at a point where we already do have AI, right? In your house, you have AI, you have Siri, you have Alexas, you have all these things that are spying on you pretty much. But they're cool. I mean, the intricate details that goes into the information that is put into them and the algorithms that are put into these devices makes it seem like they're almost human. So yes, theoretically, we could eventually just take the information in our brains and transfer it to an AI creature, or whatever we want to call it, and be immortal, right? I'm reading a book on this recently. And, but here's the issue. Yes, there's a lot of scientists who say it's going to be the same exact thing. The mind is a computer, right? The mind is a computer. So therefore, we can just transfer it and, put it into this system and it'll work the same way. It's information, right? Well, computers are algorithms and informations and things like that. But what is the difference between a human being and that robot, right? That robot. Well, here's the thing. If you put a camera in front of a mirror and you have the camera take a picture of itself, does the camera know or have the awareness that it's there taking a picture of itself? Well, not necessarily, because the camera just has information and algorithms. So it's just going to follow certain things. And while it may appear that it's aware, it's not actually, doesn't have that extra little thing that we have. That extra little thing that's not so little. And that is our awareness. So, scientists will say awareness is, comes from the brain or something like that. Well, then how do you explain near-death experiences where people's brains are completely dead and they remember some kind of thing, right? Some kind of experience of light or whatever it is. And so, I think a lot of science is wonderful. Science is wonderful, but it's still limited, right? Spirituality is wonderful, but oftentimes it goes too far where it doesn't recognize the science. So it's like we have to recognize both in the world. We have to recognize both the science so that we can move ahead and we can evolve, but we have to be careful that we don't deny or we don't leave out any parts of what makes us human, what differentiates human beings from a robot. If you think about it, right? It's this awareness, it's this thing that we have. Like if you go back and you go back and you go back, it's like, where do we come from? Well, we're just formed out of something, Big Bang, right? Atoms, molecules. We formed, one in a whatever gajillion chance, we just formed into these complex, dense pieces of matter that we identify as separate, even though spiritual communities or even quantum physics will say everything is one. Right? You could say we chose to separate ourselves. So, I think we have to be careful right now. And, I love science. I love that we're developing. I love that we're going to Mars. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's showing the power of the human mind, the human feet. But we also have to stay open to what makes us human and not try to replicate that. So I think exploration is great for us to discover new things, but I think we need to be careful about putting the control or trying to play God in a certain way or trying to play the creator where, just because somebody feels powerful or a company feels powerful or science is really powerful in a certain aspect, suddenly the ego comes in, right? The ego comes in and it says, we can do this. We've done this. Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's try this. And I'm all for that, trying new things, right? We should be. That's how we're going to grow as human beings. That's how we're going to reach new heights, new levels, and expand our capabilities and learn more about ourselves. Nothing wrong with that. That's our true nature. But we cannot deny certain things like awareness. Or we can't, just because it doesn't fit into the model of science and physics, can't deny that stuff, right? Can't deny that stuff. So we need to be at a point where we can use science and we can use discovery and we can take all of the information in, but also know that we also have something extra, and it's our intuition, or this inner knowing, okay? So information is different from knowledge. You could say that it's the same, but it's actually different. Because information could be programmed into a computer, into algorithms, right? Instagram, Facebook. It knows what you're thinking. Well, those are based on algorithms, based on what you're doing, where you're clicking, right? Who you're commenting, whose post you're commenting on, all that stuff. And it seems like it's getting into your head. But that's just information. That's just algorithms. But true knowledge is something that goes deeper, and sometimes that you can't put words to. Sometimes that where you just have like this knowing as a human being that you're more than just information, you're more than just algorithms, you're more than just programming. So I think that's where we need to meet in the middle of spirituality or metaphysics, whatever you want to call it, quantum physics, and true science and mathematics and all kinds of stuff, and put it all together, okay? Because otherwise here it's like the black and white, right? It's the division, it's the separation, but here is the whole, which is we're whole, where everything is whole. And yes, everything's a projection, right? So it's coming from inside you, your thoughts and feelings, but you also have this extra little intuition, this extra awareness within you. And that you can't fit into a box or a computer or a camera that has no awareness of itself. So it's also why, it's so important to really be aware of our thoughts and our feelings, because it's going to shape our reality. Because we're computers and we're also not computers, right? Computer is just a thing we put a label on, right? But we do have information, we do have knowledge, we do have the capability to store things and process things. So you could say we're like a computer, but we're not a computer, because we have extra little thing to us, extra little spark to us. So anyway, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it a little today because I think it's very interesting. I think it's a direction it's interesting, but we need to be cautious of, because it's something that can really turn I mean, you've seen the Netflix shows where it's like the robots turn on you and they end up killing everybody, or they programming. The weird thing is I could see that happening, and it's really not, they don't put out these shows necessarily because something is so far out of reach. If you can think it, you can create it. We have the capability. If we can think it, we can make something happen. If you're putting it out there that this is a possibility, then it is a possibility no matter how far-fetched it seems. So if you're making a movie on it, you're making a series on it, then there's something inside of you that's saying, okay, this is a possibility because I'm creating a series based on this. Even if it doesn't seem like it would happen, it's very not likely. It's still in the realm, the alternate space of possibilities. So anyway, have a great day. If you want to, please subscribe below. I put out new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.